Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we try to figure out what companies are really up to, and today's report. Well, it has enough twists and turns to make your head spin, but don't worry, we'll break it down together. We're diving into SouthState Corporation, a big regional bank, to see what they're planning. Buckle up, because this isn't just about numbers. It's about expansion, potential pitfalls, and a whole lot of corporate shuffling. First off, this is their proxy statement. That means they want our votes on some pretty big moves, so let's take a look. Straight from the top, we have a letter from CEO John Corbett talking about their performance. He mentions a shareholders meeting and wants us to vote for all their proposals. Okay, John, let's see if you can convince us. Here are the items up for a vote, including electing 15 directors, approving executive pay, always a fun one, and something a bit unusual, changing their home base from South Carolina to Florida. But first, let's try to understand what this company is about. SouthState brags about how awesome 2024 was. They bought Independent Bank Group, making them a $65 billion regional bank with branches in Texas and Colorado. They are also boasting about $535 million in net income. Not bad, but the story gets more interesting when you dig deeper. These guys are really focused on a performance-based executive compensation program. What that really means is that the executives get paid more if the company does well. So how do they get paid? It's a mix of cash and stock, with a lot riding on how well they manage the bank's money and avoid bad loans. Scrolling down to where it gets interesting are the details of stock ownership by big shareholders, executives, and board members. We see that BlackRock and Vanguard, two of the biggest investment companies in the world, own a lot of SouthState's stock. What does that really mean? These big firms have a big say in what SouthState does, and it's also a good way for them to invest in this company. Now, let's meet some of the key players. One name that jumps out is David Brooks, who came over from Independent Bank Group after SouthState bought them. Having him on board seems like a smart move to integrate those two companies and have someone with inside knowledge. It's not just about making money, they have to think about ethics. Shantella Cooper is on the board, bringing expertise in risk management and doing the right thing. This is important to avoid scandals and make sure the company is a good citizen. The report emphasizes that they have separate roles for the CEO and the chairman of the board. That's good because it prevents one person from having too much control and helps ensure that the board is actually overseeing the CEO properly. The board even does self-evaluations to see if they can improve, which is done using a questionnaire. It sounds interesting. These self-evaluations can easily be self-serving, but at least they show they're thinking about this. They also spend a lot of time on cybersecurity. Understandably, because banks are big targets for hackers. They've got someone on the risk committee who's a cybersecurity expert, and they're always running tests to see if their systems can withstand attacks. Let's get into the nitty-gritty of how the executives get paid. The goal here, according to the report, is to reward them for making the company sound, profitable, and growing, but not encouraging them to take crazy risks. We can also get to know some of the names, such as Chief Financial Officer William Matthews, who manages all the money. Also President Richard Murray. AIP, LTI plans, and NEO. Wow, so many abbreviations. Well, what are these terms and why should I care about what are named Executive Officer NEO? Simple, if NEOs earn a lot, then the company is likely doing well, and if its shareholders want returns, they will try to make sure that these highly ranked positions, such as the Chief Executive Officer, Chief Financial Officer, and other top people in the company, are well incentivized. Now let's see how are they incentivized. We can see that our pal John, the CEO, gets a base salary, plus a chance to earn even more through bonuses and stock. The goal is that nearly 2/3 of his pay depends on his performance, so if SouthState does well, he does really well. But it's not just about blindly chasing profits. They also talk about compensation risk management. What are the biggest risks involved? They stress the importance of ethical sales training and making sure employees don't take excessive risks to get bigger bonuses. One thing that stands out is the proposal to move the company's domicile from South Carolina to Florida. What does that mean? Basically, it's like changing where the company is officially headquartered. They want to switch to Florida because they think the laws there are better for business, giving the board more control. Now let's examine how they try to make sure that they are following those values. The fine print Appendix A has the usual financial reports, including details on PPNR, ROATCE. What are they? Forget about it. Instead, focus on the big picture. Revenue went up by a big amount. They also want to give the directors a lot of power, specifically the ability to amend or repeal bylaws. Lastly, it tells you how to find all this information online and how to vote. They really want you to vote, so make sure you do. Now that we've decoded the report, let's put it all together. SouthState seems to be in a good position right now. It's growing, making money, and trying to keep its executives focused on the right goals. But there are also potential downsides to be aware of, such as giving too much power to the directors. Buying another bank is always a risk, especially in a changing economic climate. And of course, every financial institution has to worry about cybersecurity and compliance. If I was an investor, I'd say SouthState is a good company with a good direction, but keep an eye on those risks. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, please like, subscribe, and let me know what companies you'd like me to decode next.